Okay. We're going to jump into the Sunday night watch list. And before I do so, go over to ztrades.net, check out the terms and conditions page as well as a disclaimer. If you don't agree to it, don't watch the video or join the Discord. If you agree to it, join the Discord, which is in the description of this video, and feel free to watch the video. Excuse me because I'm out of breath. I just ran upstairs and back down to grab some water for this video. So if I'm out of breath, I'll clear the air now. Anyways, we've got a lot to watch. So there's a lot of stuff on the 50 right now. The really bullish stuff. You guys see how well Apple held up through all this. It's resting on the 20. We're going to go over all that. We got HIMS, Microsoft, OKLO is already here. HIMS, Microsoft, Google, Avgo, and Tesla. Yeah, I'm going to pull up SPY as well as the Qs. I slept on my neck completely wrong, like I was sleeping on a wall, and somehow didn't fell asleep like that. So if I'm moving weird, I'm clearing the air on that too, because I can't be looking weird after I've spent 30 minutes doing a video, and I can't redo it. So I'm just going to be transparent right now. Let's go ahead and jump into this, guys. OKLO, we cracked anchored VWAP. I love anchored VWAP. People use anchored VWAP on the 5-minute. They use VWAP on the 5-minute. They don't use anchored VWAP, though. You can go from YTD highs, YTD lows. I usually like to do the previous low of the year. Or going back, you can do it by the quarter, going back a year. I like to do the lows. So we cracked that. We have the 200 down there here, and if we hit that, then we get to the 200, I'll have my eyes on it there. Throughout all this, when we've had a big dip like this, and there was a big rotation out of anything to do with AI into other sectors of the market, you guys can see a lot of AI stocks have taken a big beating here. So, but Microsoft and Apple have had a lot of good news. I'm going to attach the good news articles. I'm not going to sit here talking about it. It's going to take a while. I'm going to attach them to the description of this video, but it's important to, when we're in a downturn like this and you're expecting that the market's going to reverse, what of the top 10 or even top 5 of the S&P has had recent good news, but the stock hasn't really acted because the whole market was tanking, right? Microsoft's one. We've had a drop consistently. I cannot stand how the 200 messes up the chart here. We have dropped for 2 weeks now. Like, when did we start dropping? February 20th, and it's going to be March 10th. That's a long time. That is a long time. We're talking about 20 days of dropping pretty much on everything. Yeah, there was a couple short rallies in the middle of that, but we have the 200 here. I'd like to see us above that. Just because it broke it doesn't mean it's going to keep going. We could have more tariff news. It could just continue into next week. It really comes down to what Trump says and what his team wants to do. But at some point, the market, all that's going to get priced in. And even if there is more tariffs, you'll notice that we're not going to drop as hard. And I think we're already there. Where it wasn't priced in was Monday. Last Monday was unbelievable trading. This last week has been fantastic. People are making bank in the Discord, including myself. SPY, the Qs really don't have that much of a setup. SPY does. Let me move myself over here. Let's let me just scroll back so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. And why does it not fit it all in? That really upsets me. They're acting like the 200 is a part of the candlestick, and the screen just smashes it all up. It's very annoying. Anyways, let me go ahead and stretch that out like a lot. Anyways, let's take a look at this here. We had a heavy support where this was a resistance. 1, 2, 3, kind of 4, and then acted as support. Resistance here, then we made an inverted hammer. If you want to count that as a resistance and support at the same time, I guess you could. Tapped it here and here. So this is an area I want to look at, which is why I highlighted it. We kissed that. It's too bad I wasn't on a higher time frame at 565 Friday at the low of the day. And we jumped right up off it. And then, what do we do? Oh my gosh, can you stretch out? Then what did we do? We sucked above the 200. We sucked above the 200 and closed above it, meaning we respected the 200. Eyes on the market for a possible rally next week. Again, we could keep going down, but again, we've got that support right here, and we have the 200, and it respected the 200. So if I'm going to bet on anything, it's probably up, right? It's kind of common sense, which is a lot of trading is common sense in a way. So St. Patty's Day is coming. I have an article somewhere in the Discord I'll pull up. The market likes to rally on U.S. holidays. It really likes to rally. I don't know why on St. Patty's Day it would rally. It would make sense with Christmas, you know. But Thanksgiving, I guess I could kind of see that. Christmas, obviously. But, you know, and around Christmas in December, we're always usually pretty bullish. For some reason, we're always booming near St. Patty's Day week or on St. Patty's Day, right around then. If it's before, it's after, the whole period just around there is a hot spot for the market of bullishness. So I remember that because I tried to play quad witching, and I was like, why didn't we go down? What's going on? Every first quad witching of the year seems to be a loss if I play downside, just not on TA, but just on quad witching. And then I found an article on just the data going back over like 30 years of the S&P and just the stock market in general around St. Patty's Day, and it's up there for I don't remember the exact numbers. It was something way up there, like 78% of the time, 81%, something like that. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Okay, and let's take a look at Microsoft on the weekly here. We have the 100 EMA right there, and we tagged it, and it sucked up and respected it. I like that. It didn't close below it. It went below it, but sucked up. You want to see where just in the moment when the candle isn't closed, the day has to end, or the week does. That was Friday. Sure, it can go below it. I want to see at the end of the week on that weekly candle where it's going to be, right? And we sucked up above the 100, and we held it on the weekly. So, and it has had good news out. I'll post the news in the description of the video. Let's check out Google. Google weekly, right on the what? Right on the 50, right on trend as well. When was that I had some other trend line on here? Did we ever bounce off that? When was that? Nope, we snapped right through that. But let's take a look at the weekly over here. Where what? I don't know. I don't know what time frame that was or what. No. It was this same chart right here. And we went up and down and then back up. So I guess you can call that a win. You know, it's whatever. I was playing downside last week, making bank. 50 EMA as well as a trend line. I am looking for upside on Google. PT would be the 20. Up here at 180. $7 move. It could happen. Let's look at Avgo. Avgo bounced right off the 50. Really simple. It's one thing if I see one stock doing it, but if they're all doing it, let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla weekly, right on the 100. Sucked up and then closed right on it. I'm going to keep my eyes on Tesla. Why is this up here? That shouldn't be there anymore. I'm going to keep my eyes on Tesla, and it's at a support. This big boom right here, pandemic boom, has just been erased. And now we're on the 100. Eyes on this thing next week. Let's pull up TSLL before I go to the Tesla daily. TSLL, that's, you know, it's leveraged. It's different. It's not the same thing. Gaps filled on TSLL. This thing has been dropping since December 18th. Interesting. What support is that? I don't know what that. I didn't draw that. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Whatever. Anyways, let's go over to Tesla daily. Crashed through anchored VWAP. Filled a gap. This election gap. Wait, is this the election gap? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Right there. That's the election gap because that's when we shot up. God, $30 move in a day. That's the election gap, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That is the election gap. I'm pretty sure it's right around there anyways. Or it may have been up here and then I think that may have been the election gap. Who cares? Whatever. I'm wasting too much time. This is where I got TSLA when Tesla was down here. Fat gap down here. If something continues to happen, the deadline for some of these tariffs is April 2nd. So I expect us to we could have a rally next week. If more bad news comes out, then I'm not going to remain bullish. If it's like serious, serious bad stuff, retaliatory tariffs, then tariffs on a new country or something like that, well, then my view changes, right? I'm not just going to remain bull out of arrogance, but the charts are saying we could possibly have a decent bounce. So we'll see if that happens. That gap was filled, but Tesla just won't go up. We had 3 to 4 days in all of this of basically a decent up day. We had like 2, like that one. That was really the only decent update out of all this. Yeah, I guess we had some over here. But overall, it's been dropping since December 18th. It quit going up. Yeah, December 18th. It's done nothing but drop. So that's when Powell came out and he smoked everything. That gap has been filled. So I want to see upside on this. I'm going to be watching this, especially again based on the weekly here. Right there on the weekly. I like it. I really like it. So that's all I have. I want to pull up. Was there anything else I was going to pull up? We have HIMS up here. I pulled up SMCI. NVIDIA looks like garbage. I don't see anything on it. What is that? There's nothing. Let's try to unelongate it. That doesn't tell me anything at all. Literally tells me nothing. Yeah. I don't see anything on NVIDIA. I'm going to pull up TTD. Oh my gosh. From 120 down to 64 bucks. Let's go over to weekly. I'll kind of just go rogue here and stuff that isn't planned for the video and pull some stuff up. God, has that gotten smoked. MDB got rocked recently too. Oh, that thing could keep going. There's a big gap all the way down there to 150. Yeah, I'm sure at some point this will have some rally back up, but we have that big gap down there. Oh, what was it? Marvel. That's smoked as well. Now that's forming pretty much almost a hammer here. That could pop up a bit. We'll see on Monday. Keep this on watch. That's almost a hammer right there. Keep your eyes peeled on that Monday and see what happens. Let's see if we can catch that for upside. Definitely 74, right? The previous body I'd be looking at. Do I expect it to fill the gap all of a sudden at once? I don't. That may take news or good future earnings, but it's erased all that. It's right back to this level over in here. It came all the way back. Yep, right in the middle of it. That big boom from 70 all the way to 128 is now gone. Was there anything else? There was something else I was going to pull up, and I cannot remember what it was. That's okay. I want to pull up Meta. Kind of went through this pretty fast. Meta passed the 100 and came all the way back up. God, can you imagine catching that on Friday? 600 and went to 620. Or that was the daily. Hold on a second. Let me look at the five. Yeah. 600 and shot up to, jeez. That's right, Mr. Miyagi had caught that. He made like $1,000. We were all the way near anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP would have been a really good place to snag some of that there. We had a gap down to 399, 400. That's obviously not going to happen that fast. Meta could really go back up. This has been dropping since February 18th. So, yeah, let's keep an eye on that Monday. Meta and Google, I really want to be looking at. Meta Weekly, that thing has hardly even fallen. It's still on the 20. Good gosh, that is wild. Right there in the peak of the bad earnings. That would have been fantastic there to have that around 88. I'm rambling now. Let's move on. That's actually Baba. Wanted to cover some China on the daily. We came back up. If it goes past, if it does not exceed 145, I may want to eye it for puts down to 132. My phone's going off. I'm going to get off. If you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more.